All right, I am on the road, and this is the 5,000 subscriber Q&A. So earlier this morning, I asked you guys to ask me some questions, and you put in a bunch of good questions, so I'm here to answer them. I'm driving on the way to Colorado right now. Finished my trip to BC a couple days ago, and before that, Oak Ridge, Oregon. And those videos are still on their way out. They're still coming out, so stay tuned. Plenty of stuff to come. Got the new bike also. Took it for a test spin yesterday. Feels great, so I'm taking the new bike along with me to Colorado and ride some epic stuff. The Teespring orders have also shipped. I got my email today that my shirt that I bought from the campaign is shipped, so they should be arriving here in you know, the next few days or so, depending on where you live. If you're across the pond or somewhere far-fetched around the world, it'll take a little longer. So let's start answering some questions. I only allowed one question each. A few of you asked a bunch of questions. They're good questions, but one per person's good enough. So the first question that came in was from YouTube, and when did you start riding clipless? I started riding clipless pedals once I stopped crashing all the time. So, you know, everybody starts out on flats, I'd say, but once I stopped crashing all the time and messing up, then switched into clipless and have never looked back. There's actually a lot of questions about clipless or flats. I prefer clipless. It's just kind of, I'm one with the bike when I'm riding clipless. I feel like the bike is in my total control. It's moving around under me, but I can always put it where I want it. And I have no problem unclipping real quick and put my foot down if I have to. And that question was from Leo Anderson on YouTube. R. Boardman234S from Instagram asked me the best question that anyone asked me, and it's who are your 3 most inspirational people? I've been thinking about this question for quite a while now. I'd say my number 1 inspirational person is my brother, Justin. He inspires me to get faster on the bike, because anytime I get faster, he gets faster. We have this like physical competition going back and forth of like, there'll be days where he just kicks my ass and I'm like, no, I need to get faster. And he also asks really good questions about this channel and about my business, and really pokes holes in things and sees things from a different perspective that inspire me to get better. And number 2 would be Francis Sabato from mtbr.com. He built mtbr.com from scratch, you know, programmed it, and he built a giant community that, you know, serves as a big business that he can work full time, like talking about bikes, riding bikes, loving bikes. And that completely inspires me, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. And then number 3 is pretty cliche for any YouTuber, but Casey Neistat is very inspirational to me. He does what he loves. He lives it every day, and he actually drops all kinds of really cool nuggets of inspiration throughout his daily vlogs, and I love it. Steffi D999 from YouTube asks, what's your favorite bike? It's the bike that I bought. So Buddy Sellin from YouTube asks, do you pay for your demo bikes, or does the bike shop hook it up? I pay for almost everything. There's demo days where you get to ride for free, but right now I basically pay $100 every time I ride a demo bike. Nick from Facebook asks, what's the next big thing in mountain biking? And I think the 27.5 plus bikes are really the next big thing. They're just fantastic, soft. I really love the Hightower. I didn't end up buying the Hightower, but I just had more fun on the Bronson, so 27.5 plus is the next big thing. Richard from Facebook asks, why did I choose the Bronson over the Yeti? I guess you haven't watched my videos. I've had many rides and many discussions and answered many comments about why I like the Bronson so much. It was the most fun bike there is. That I had the most fun on it out of any bike. That's why I bought it. If I had more fun on the Yeti, I would have bought it in a heartbeat. Bolay from Instagram asks if I've ever ridden any hardtail, trail, or enduro bikes. Are there hardtail enduro bikes? I don't know if that exists. I'm not into the hardtails. I only do full suspension. I'm open to riding some other stuff though. Groove Bay from Instagram asks, will I keep riding new bikes now that I have my new bike? Of course I'm gonna do test rides on different bikes, and of course I'm gonna make videos about them. I'm not gonna stop just because I bought a bike. Austin Van Sil 10 from Instagram asks, can I review the YT Jeffsy? I would like to test out the YT Jeffsy for sure. There's actually not a few hours from my house. the YT headquarters in Reno, and they have demo bikes there. So I just have to make it happen, put it on the calendar, and get out there. And now that it's going to be fall and cooler temperatures, it'll be a little bit easier to ride around Reno. Cooper Up Tater Tot from Instagram asks, when are we going to do a NorCal group ride? That's a good idea. I haven't thought about that. I'm not a huge fan of group rides because you have to wait for everyone and everyone goes slow, and I'd rather go fast. But we could probably do something at Rockville or something like that where we just have a meetup and everybody comes by and rides and hang out. Emil K10 from Instagram asks if I could go anywhere in the world to ride outside North America, where would I go? And my answer is New Zealand, and I'm hoping to get to New Zealand this winter. Alipo111 from Instagram asks, when am I going to SoCal? Hopefully this winter. I definitely want to get it in there, October or November, maybe even December. We'll see. There's all kinds of cool stuff to ride down there, and I've met a bunch of people online that I want to meet up with and ride with as well. Nick Adams 5 from Instagram asks, when are you going to ride Pisgah? Which is, I think it's south of Asheville, South Carolina, something like that. I'll be there. I definitely keep hearing about it. I'll make it. I'll make a trip for sure. Jody Lowballer from Instagram asks, have you ridden the 5010? Yes, I have, and there's a video about it. E5 Jake from Instagram asks, what's your diet and workout routine? This is probably best for another video because it's endless, the amount of information that I could bestow on you guys. But here's a very slight tidbit. I do not eat dairy, and I don't do gluten. Dairy gives me zits, and gluten makes me feel like shit and have to take a dump almost immediately after I eat it. And that took me very, very long to actually figure that out about my body. So listen to your body, eat what makes you actually feel good, and go from there. In the morning, I have 5 eggs for breakfast. I have a bunch of spinach. I'll eat beef and turkey, ground turkey for dinner and lunch, steak, all that kind of stuff. Very, very carnivorous diet that I have. Nico Limchok from Instagram asks, why did I choose black for my new Bronson? Well, I chose black for the new Bronson because I didn't see the green and yellow color in real life, so I couldn't commit to it. It's an interesting color, but the black gives me a base to be able to maybe do custom stickers or put something else on it. And I don't mind the black and blue. I didn't like the black on black Bronson. It was kind of a little too dark for me, but the black and blue, I'm digging it. Vlad98 from Instagram asks, how old am I? I'm 34 years old. Andre Asakana from Instagram asks, do you like jumps? I think jumps are pretty cool, but all I hear is people breaking their collarbones and getting really injured doing jumps. I don't got time to get injured, so I just want to go out and ride and have the most fun I possibly can while still being able to shoot videos and stay healthy. Conray from Instagram asks, why not the Intense? Because the Bronson was the most fun bike I've ever ridden. Forrest Brandon from Instagram asks, did you ever consider the YT Capra? And yes, I did. I just couldn't do it without actually riding it, and I would like to get on a YT here pretty soon. CacZarder17 from Instagram asks, when are you going to hit up the East Coast? Hopefully next year. I think it'll happen next year. Bara Vanslaw from Instagram asks, did I let my Yeti get stolen on purpose so I could get a new bike? And absolutely not. When my Yeti was stolen, I thought that I was going to be out of a $5,000 bike, and that was it. I was going to have to buy a new one out of my own pocket. I didn't even really think about insurance or any of that. And when insurance actually came through and paid for my bike, I was like, this is unreal. I couldn't believe it that they would actually pay to replace the bike. So it was a crazy turn of events that turned out to be a blessing in disguise, but there's no way in hell I would ever do that on purpose. Backyard Kids on YouTube asks, what does BKXC stand for? Brian Kennedy Cross Country. Sam G on YouTube asks, will I ever do a skills progression video? I think that's kind of a cool idea, like, learning how to manual, bunny hop, yada, yada, yada. I kind of thought about that. I don't think it's a bad idea. I kind of like doing videos about riding big rides and riding cool-ass bikes more, but I think there is room to do some little skill stuff in between. We'll see. Matt and his bike from YouTube asks, how long have I been riding? I've been riding a bike in general forever, but serious, once a week mountain biking probably started about 6 years ago, me and my brother. And he just said, hey, we got to get in shape. We're always skinny guys, but we were not in shape. When we went on that first mountain bike ride, it was hellaciously hard. Aaron MM from YouTube asks, what should I bring on every ride? You need to bring water on every ride. And then you can Google the rest. Ed from Facebook asks if I exclusively ride full suspension. You know, I would never exclude anything. Nothing's 100%, but yes, I focus on full suspension. I would like to take a hardtail out one time and see if I blow away some of my times climbing and descending, but I just rather ride a bunch of full suspension cool ass bikes instead of putter around on something that I'm not really that interested in. JGXMTB from Facebook asked, what is my favorite video I've ever uploaded? This was a really good, thoughtful question as well. And I think I'm gonna have to go with my Giant Trance Advance video. That was my first test ride video. So it was the first one. I used the gimbal, used the chesty, and when I got home and I started editing that footage, I knew that I had something special. And then once I uploaded it and once the comments started coming through that everyone was so stoked on it, I knew I had something special. So one of my first videos, probably my favorite right now. Miguel Carlos 9 from Instagram asks, what are some of my recovery tips? Recovery tip is sleep and eat. If you're not eating enough and you're not sleeping enough, you're not going to recover. Your body will do all the magic for you. A lot of protein is what I do. I always have protein shakes after rides as much as I can, and I eat a lot of meat. My buddy Vivek on Instagram asks, high five? Sure, high five. Israel ZR Can from Instagram asks, can you ride most of the trails that I ride on an entry-level bike? It depends on what your definition of entry-level is. If it's an entry-level bike shop bike, yes, you could probably ride my trails on that bike. The bike would not last that long. It would probably break. Parts would start to break. If you're talking about a Walmart bike, no, I would not ever recommend taking a Walmart bike out on the trails that I ride because it would probably break a lot sooner than just one ride. Navarre DR from Instagram asks, after doubling subs every 2 weeks, do you feel like you're going to be able to keep up with the comments? And that is actually something I've thought a lot about, and it kind of bums me out to think that I won't be able to keep up with the comments. I don't know how I'm going to handle that. I'm going to probably stop answering the same old questions that get asked over and over again, and maybe you guys in the comments can jump in and answer the question of how tall I am, or why do you ride clips versus flats, or, you know, even just before you ask a comment, look at the comments already. I've answered the same question 3 times. But I'll try to find a way to keep up and answer comments as much as I can. We'll see. All right, so I think I answered all the questions. A couple repeat questions that I didn't want to answer twice. But that was pretty good for our first little Q&A. You guys know I pretty much answer every question in the comments anyways right now, so just ask whatever you want that didn't get covered in this video. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the trail.